Okay, we are live on both YouTube and Instagram. Welcome, you guys. Welcome back to our daily live feed. I hooked up a new mic on my YouTube, so let me know if you can hear me okay. If you're on YouTube watching this, I have a new microphone attached to my computer, so please feel free to comment and let me know if you can hear me or not, because that's kind of important. Hopefully you can hear me. Welcome, you guys. Raven, I know you go back and forth between the two platforms. If you could just log on over at YouTube for a minute and let me know if I'm good, that would be good. Okay, awesome. Does it sound any different? Because I did hook up a microphone that I use for like my voiceovers and stuff like that. So I was hoping maybe the sound quality is a little bit better than using the computer itself. So as you guys are getting logged on tonight, if you'd like to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits, and posing. Thank you, Raven. Appreciate that. We do all the presentation details when it comes to competing. And in our YouTube chat right now, I have the link up for our flash sale. It is going through till tomorrow. So several of you have taken advantage of that. It is a BOGO. So you buy one at 25% off, you get one for free. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go check it out because it's open till tomorrow. We decided to do this flash sale because I had a ton of people ask me about my suit and everything after competing in New York. So this was our biggest discounted sale we've ever done. So we opened it up for a couple of days for you guys if you want to take advantage of it, and it will shut down tomorrow. So that is available for you there. And I always give it a few minutes for people to get logged on. I know we have a lot of new people that are logging on. If you are on Instagram and you haven't gone over to our YouTube channel yet, check that out. The link is in our bio on Instagram. So go log on to YouTube. I personally think that YouTube is a little bit more user-friendly when it comes to actually watching videos. But we started on Instagram about 3 years ago, so we continue to do both platforms at the same time. I ordered it last night. Awesome. Love to hear that. That's great. Yeah. So, and if you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you need to be. I just put up a video. It went live today at 1:00 from my New York pro experience. I'm doing more and more of those because I not only compete, but I also work at these shows. So I am, covering some behind the scenes stuff that you don't see anywhere else when I'm at the shows, whether I'm there for my business or whether I'm there for myself. So the next show that we have coming up is the DC ProAm. And I will be there with clients, but I'm also doing the commentary at that show too. So it's going to be a fun weekend. I love doing commentary at these shows. It is so much fun. So we will get lots of footage from there, but also get the live stream because we do commentary not only for the pros, but we do commentary for NPC as well. So if you're competing or if you just want to hear what we have to say about the NPC competitors, then that would be beneficial for you. Learn, right? Get their live stream. You get a ton of information when you're on those live streams all day. So it's awesome seeing what goes on behind the scenes. Even as a competitor, I don't see all that goes on. Right. Yeah. Well, that's what I thought too. I cover these things a little bit differently than a lot of people do. It's a little bit of a vlog, a little bit, but more so kind of showing you what's going on stage and with the judging and things like that too. So I cover it from a little bit of a different angle than most YouTube channels do. So hopefully you guys can gain something from that. And also let me know what you want me to film, because when I'm at shows, I just kind of film stuff and then I throw it all onto my computer and piece it all together and do a voiceover. So stuff that I think that you guys might like, but I may be off. So if I'm wrong, let me know what else you guys want to see. Let me know what else you want me to film, right? Because then I can get that up there for you too. Sorry, I look a little ratchet right now. I just finished up my second cardio for today. And that's why I'm drinking coffee, because I finished my second cardio and I'm about ready to take a nap. So that's where I'm at right now. But I wanted to discuss tonight's topic, which is when is enough enough? Should I do another show? So this is a question that I get all the time. It's a question I personally have to answer for myself too. Like, when is it a good time to stop competing and throw in the towel for the season? When is it a good time to continue to push? So as we're talking about this tonight, go ahead and, you can type into the comment bar. Let me know, what has made you question your season? What has made you think maybe I should do another show, or maybe I should not do another show, right? And I'm going to tell you from my own personal experience. I'm going to tell you from some client experience, just give you some examples and some scenarios of some things that you should take into account, okay? So first and foremost, when you're trying to decide if you should continue to compete or if you should not, would be your judging feedback, okay? So when you go into a show and you get judging feedback, you need to listen to it, okay? If they're telling you that you need to grow and you need to put on size, it's probably not a good idea to continue to compete. This is on any level, right? This is amateurs to pros. If they're telling you that you need to put on size, you probably should throw it in for the moment and go put some size on, right? If they're telling you that you need to get leaner, then maybe you should continue to diet and compete again, right? That's one thing to take into consideration. I'll use myself as an example at this point. My feedback at New York was I needed to come in better condition and I need to grow more glutes. So on one hand, I need to grow. But on the other hand, I also feel like I didn't come in my top condition. So what I have decided to do is do one more show where I can really push my conditioning and really get into the best shape that I possibly can and see what I look like at that point, and then determine what I'm going to do from there. Now, I had some people ask me, my goal is to get to the Olympia stage and everything like that. It's still my goal to get to the Olympia stage. Now, that may not happen this year. I don't think I ever said that I was going to qualify for the Olympia this year. I might have said that. So I'm putting a caveat there. I might have said that I'm going to qualify this year, but it's my goal to qualify for the Olympia. So if I need to grow in order to qualify for the Olympia, continuing to compete is not the smartest idea in the world, right? So my goal, my plan, I have a plan, is to, to really, like I said, for the next 3 weeks, bring my conditioning in as best as I possibly can. Really train with high intensity so I can try and keep the fullness of my glutes, because after looking at pictures and videos, things like that, I'm actually really happy with the shape of my glutes. I just need some more density there. So I'm going to try and hang on to as much as I can and pull it down a few more pounds and see what I look like. Depending on what I look like at that point, that will determine what we do from here. Now, that may mean that I'm going to continue to compete this summer. Probably not. It will most likely mean that I need to get off stage for at least a few months to continue to build that density in my glutes. There is a law of diminishing returns. If you continue to diet, you're going to continue to strip off whatever it is you just built. So you have to take that into consideration. So, we'll see what I look like in 3 weeks and we'll decide what we're going to do from there. But I'm not going to continue to push myself to get on stage going after a goal that I know I'm not going to hit if I don't take my feedback. Right? Now, you may be somebody who has enough muscle. You may be somebody that has enough muscle, and the judges are telling you that you need to get into better shape. You need to get better conditioned. Now, you're somebody who probably can push a little bit more. And this is where you need to have a good conversation with your coach and say, okay, how much time do I need in order to be in shape to get on stage again? And, maybe you need another month, to get a little bit leaner or something like that. If that's the case, then great. Pick another show in a month and get on stage in a month and see what you look like at that point and get your feedback. Okay. Now, you may be somebody who is doing very well at the local level, but you're not sure if you should move your way up to national level yet. I have this happen to a lot of my clients, right? They do very, very well at the local level and they get all hyped up and jazzed up and they want to go up to the national level. And then they go up to the national level and they get their ass handed to them, right? The national level is completely different than the local level. You could crush it across the board at the local level and go up to the national level and become the last call out over and over. Happens all the time, right? So if that's the scenario, you got to talk to the judges when you're at your local show and ask them, say, what do you think my next step should be, right? Should I continue to compete? What should I go into an off season? What should I do, right? Maybe they are going to tell you, you look great at the local level. If you want to keep moving on, then you need to go put some muscle on. So at that point, you got to take a step back and say, okay, well, I want to continue to compete. So I'm just going to stay on the local level for right now. And I'm going to continue to compete, maybe get some more feedback, maybe work on presentation, maybe work on just dialing in the shape a little bit better and not really go to national level yet. Right? That's an acceptable answer, you guys. You don't have to go up to the national level just because you're nationally qualified. That doesn't have to happen. The year before I won my pro card, this is what I did. So I took a building season, came back, did a local show, placed third. I was told at that point that I had definitely improved. I went back to the same show. So I definitely improved, but I still wasn't big enough for national level. So I said, okay, that's cool. I can handle that, but I'm going to do another show. So I did another local show because I wanted to bring my conditioning in a little bit more. And I did. I did another local show and I won my class because I was the only one in it. But I also took second overall. So I was happy with that. But I knew at that point, I still wasn't ready to go back to national level yet. I knew I still needed more size. So I did the 2 shows. I did the 2 local shows. And then I took time off and came back the next year. And when I came back the next year, I did a local show and then I went to nationals and I won my pro card, right? So I took the time that I needed to because I took my feedback and I understood what it meant. And it was cool. I did great at the local level that year and I didn't waste my time. I didn't continue to push when I knew if I went to the national level, I wasn't going to do well, right? I knew where I was physique-wise and I stayed there, right? And I took my feedback and I applied it. And like I said, a year later, I won my pro card. So I think a lot of people get onto this little kick where they feel like they have to continue to compete. And just because they're doing well at local shows, they feel like they have to go up to national level. You absolutely do not have to do that. No. If the judges are telling you you're not ready for national level, don't go. Take the time to be ready. Because let me tell you what, going to a national level show is expensive. Takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort. And if it doesn't go well, it's a big letdown. You can go from being top dog in your local area to bottom of the barrel when you go up to national level. Right? So go be where your feet are and also enjoy your journey as you go along too. I had a girl ask me this, she did her first show, did well. She won her class. Did not win the overall, but did win her class. And she asked me, what should be my next step? Should I continue to compete or should I go to national level? And I said, well, I didn't actually see her compete. I said, so I can't tell you exactly what I think about your physique and things like that. I said, but this was your first show. I said, and I can tell you that the reason why you didn't win the overall is I can see your conditioning needs to improve. I said, but that's really about all I can tell because I wasn't there, that kind of thing. I said, but I can tell you you're not ready for national level. And that's okay. Just because you qualify doesn't mean you have to go. Right? Because it is a whole other level when you get up to that national stage. And then once you do get there and once you are placing well at the national level, make sure you take your feedback. Make sure you go get your feedback. I see this happen a lot where girls get up to the national level and they just don't even talk to the judges to get their feedback. They get all pissy and things like that. And they just go back and hit the national level again and again and again and again. And they keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Take your feedback. Okay. So that's first and foremost, getting your feedback, understanding your feedback, being okay with your feedback, and applying your feedback. That's the first thing that you should always do if you're questioning if you should do another show or if you shouldn't. Okay, that's first. The second thing is how you physically, emotionally, and mentally feel. If you are exhausted, you may look phenomenal, but if you are exhausted, it's probably not a good idea to continue to push your body. If you're on a ton of cardio and a little bit of calories, might not be the best idea to keep pushing your body. It might be a better idea for you to take a little bit of a break. Sometimes all you need to do is take a couple of weeks or a few months off and you feel a whole lot better. And then at that point, you can jump back up and push some more. I see this happen all the time too, where girls are close to whatever their goal is, and they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and they run their bodies into the ground, and they do some serious damage that takes them years to recoup from. Don't neglect the warning signs, you guys. If your body's not responding to things, there's a reason. If your cardio is going through the roof and you're still not getting leaner, there's a reason. If your food is really drastically cut and you're still not getting leaner, there's a reason. Listen to your body. If you're not having a monthly cycle, if you're not having regular hormonal functions, there's a reason. Yep, no fun, right? Yeah, exactly. You need to listen to your body. Nobody knows your body like you do. No coach, no nothing. Nobody knows your body like you do. If you think something's off, it is okay to put the brakes on. It's okay to stop for a minute. It's okay to take a step back before you hurt yourself and then you spend years trying to fix it. Maybe you achieve the goal, but then you spend years trying to fix whatever kind of damage you did to yourself, right? Prep is supposed to be hard. It's not easy. Prep is supposed to be hard. But there comes to a point where it's not just hard anymore, it's extreme. And if you're getting to that point, you got to take a step back, right? That's why I kept putting off prep this entire season so far. And that's okay. Like I said, the stage is always going to be there. You know, that's one of the reasons why I decided to come back and compete again, because the stage is always going to be there. You know, I took 4 years off. It's going to be there another 4 years, right? Take the time, because I promise you, when you do take the time, you're going to feel a whole lot better. Your body's going to function a whole lot better. You're going to look a whole lot better. And it's going to be a much better experience for you overall. Same. Yeah. And again, that's okay. You know, I think a lot of times what happens is people think that you're going to be forgotten if you get off stage. You're not going to be forgotten. If you come back with a package that's amazing, they are not going to forget you. Right? And that's where you have to kind of start making those decisions for yourself. And you have to keep those, it's hard. You get blinders, you get prep goggles, and you can't see things clearly. So it's a really good idea to have a good support system of people in your life that are going to shoot you straight and tell you, say, like, listen, this is not a good idea. You know, you need to take a quick breather, right? Have non-emotional discussions about your future, right? I already knew coming off of New York Pro what I wanted to do, regardless of my feedback. I knew what I wanted to do. But before we made any decisions as far as what shows we were going to push into, I talked to Jamie on Monday. It was Monday? Was it Monday or was it Sunday? No, it was Sunday. It was Sunday. So I talked to Jamie, my coach, on Sunday. a day after the show, once the emotions had died down, once I'd had some, I had my steak and my little desserts and stuff, and I had some food in me, that's when we made decisions on what we were going to do next. Not when I was in a highly emotional charged state. Of course, I really kind of wasn't at this show anyway. I already knew what I was doing. But sometimes you come off of a show and you are very highly emotionally charged, and you don't ever want to make decisions from an emotionally charged place. I know so many girls that get off stage and they immediately go and they turn in entries for the next show. Take a minute. Go have a burger first, right? Breathe for a second and then make your decision, right? Let's all listen to the pro. She's so honest and pure. Yes, yeah, you're welcome. But really, I mean, I truly believe that you should take a good 24 hours after a show before you decide what you're going to do next, right? When I got off, before I did New York, I had several shows kind of planned out on my calendar just in case. And after seeing the results of New York, again, I was really happy, but I also knew I needed more time. Like, one of the shows that I had put on my schedule was Miami Muscle Beach, which is next week. And I knew that that wasn't enough time to do anything that I needed to do. I needed more than 2 weeks. I didn't need much more, but I needed more than 2 weeks. So by choosing Dallas, that gave me 4 weeks, which allowed me to have a day where I didn't have to be restricted on my plan. And I went out to eat and things like that with my husband. And I just enjoyed myself and all that kind of stuff. And then my body is responding better because I gave it a little bit of a break for a couple of days and all of that. So now I'm in a better spot, right? So I knew coming out of that show, coming out of New York, that Miami wasn't a good idea. Pushing for another 2 weeks wasn't a good idea. Pushing for another 4 weeks was better for me, right? So true. I received one-on-one with my coach today instead of show day. I have a clear head and I'm excited about my game path. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like you need to give yourself a breather for a second, right? Don't get off stage and go turn in your entry for the next show. Right? Or, a good example is if you're a first-time competitor, because a lot of times as a first-time competitor, you don't even know where to start, right? If you're a first-time competitor, do 2 shows back to back, within a couple of weeks of each other. I do think that's a good idea, right? As a first-time competitor, you're not going to go pro. That's not the goal when you're a first-time competitor. As a first-time competitor, your goal is to go into one show, knock the jitters off, and then go into the next one and do a little bit better. That's the goal. So I do think as a first-time competitor, doing 2 shows, planning 2 shows is a good idea. And then assessing where you want to go from there. Maybe do another show, maybe not. Maybe take some time. You always have to remember what your end game is too, what your end goal is. If you do want to end up going to national level, if you do want to end up going to the pro league, that kind of thing, then you got to understand where you are and what you need to do in order to get there. And a lot of that involves time. And a lot of that involves time off stage. I know people don't like to hear that, but you make improvements when you're not in prep. You make improvements when you are in improvement season. Don't call it off season because you're not off. That's when you do the work. Off season is where you do the work. So it's improvement season, not off season. Right? So there's another aspect of this too. When you come off of a show, that can be the best time to make some significant changes to your body. If you do some good things with your training, do some good things with your diet and stuff, when you come off of a show, off a depleted state, you can really put on some gains real quick. You can recomp your body real quick. So take it seriously. A lot of times what happens is girls get off stage and immediately just start eating and stop training. Don't do that. Keep it consistent. Keep your cardio up, whatever your cardio was before, keep it there. And think about it this way. I know Brina just made a post about this. Think about it this way. When you're coming off of a show, a lot of times girls, like I said, go the opposite direction. When you come off of a show, that is your peak opportunity to push yourself towards your goals. That is the best possible time that you can put the work in towards your goals, towards your future goals, towards your future physique. Take those few weeks after your show really, really seriously, because you can make some serious improvements in those few weeks. So if you decide that you're not going to keep competing and you're going to take some time, really hit it hard those first few weeks off stage. Keep that diet in check. Keep that cardio in check. Keep your training in check. I'll tell you what, like I said, for me, I just had those couple of days where I was looser with my training and with my diet. And ever since I've been back, I've been hitting new high weights and reps and things like that in the gym every single day this week. My cardio has been more intense. It's been easier. It's been more intense, but it's been easier mentally for me to do. Because, the other part of it too is that I see how close I am to my goal. And I know I'm going to continue to push to get to it. I see how close it is for me to reach out and grab it. And I know that the only thing that's separating me from my goal is me. So I'm not going to let myself down. Right? I go into the gym every day with a new intensity, with a new drive. Right? Truth. I'm loving watching and cheering for all the ladies in season, living vicariously through you all. Haha, and remembering that my prep too shall come. That's right. Staying involved in the sport is huge, and you don't have to have a business. I mean, I have a business in this sport, so I'm involved in the sport every single day of my life, but you don't have to be in business in order to enjoy bodybuilding. You know what I mean? You can go to the shows, you can support people. One of the great things about where I am and where I live is my gym is full of bodybuilders. I love it. I see it every day. Motivates me every single day. Right? Just a couple of comments here. And it helps your coach when you stick to what they have planned for you post-show. We can collect more data and make you better for next shows. Yeah, you should always see every show as an opportunity to collect data. Always. Right? Like, for those of you that saw my reel that I put up today, so I checked in with my coach today and I put up my reel, which I always do. I changed my posing because I collected data at New York where I had one step in my routine that I knew we were constantly focusing on that in practice because it made a difference in how I actually transitioned. So I was like, that is the one step that is always in the back of my head. I'm going to change it so I don't have to worry about it anymore. I collected data from that show. So now I have a new step there. So I know that when I go into my next show, it's not going to be a problem. It's not going to be a problem in my routine. It's not going to be a problem in my head. That one step was something we were focusing on all the time with my critiques. And I was like, this just needs to go. We just need to put something else in here. So it's not a problem anymore. Collect the data. And communicate with your coach. Like was just being said right here. Tell your coach if you ate like shit. Because who knows? Maybe eating like shit actually helped you. And if it did, maybe your coach will let you eat like shit the next time that you compete. Right? But if you don't tell them, they don't know that that's what worked. Right? I already see gains by adding an extra weeks versus doing one in the next 8 weeks. July versus September is making a world of difference, especially mentally. Fire is burning deep. Can't wait to get on stage for the first time. Yeah. And again, sometimes adjusting those timelines can make a huge difference for you mentally. We were talking about this. Like if I go and I eat off plan, or if I don't log something or whatever, I'm going to tell my coach because who knows, maybe it was actually a good thing. Like, I was allowed to have a free meal on Monday and eat whatever I wanted and not log it. And I sure as hell did. I ate everything and a lot of it. lots of bread, lots of butter. I had mac and cheese for the first time, and I don't even know how long. My husband looked at me. He's like, "You're ordering mac and cheese?" I was like, "Yes, I'm ordering mac and cheese. Yes," and I paid for it. But that's okay. And I actually, when I did my check-ins this week, I was like, "Damn, I actually look better. Maybe I should do mac and cheese more often." Not really, but yeah, I mean, just having that free meal really mentally put me onto a better path, right? So true. Being honest with your coach is definitely a priority in the journey. It is. They're not going to get mad at you. They just want to know what you did so that they can adjust for it. If they don't know what you did, they can't adjust your plan, right? And like for me, I was fully expecting when I turned in my check-ins today that I was going to have to keep up the 90 minutes of cardio. I was fully expecting that, but instead I got my cardio reduced. So I'm like, all right, cool. And I was honest. I told Jamie exactly what I did log and what I didn't, and how much activity got in and all those kinds of things. And I got a drop in cardio. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? So that was kind of a tangent, but anyway. So going back to the topic at hand of when is enough enough, sometimes just having those mental breaks and things like that can actually be really good for you to determine what your next show should be. And guys, there is no such thing as time is running out. There's no such thing as that. Like I said before, I'm 40. I plan on continuing to do this. I know several Karen's on here. Karen's 60. She's still doing this. She just won 2 pro shows and she's 60. You know what I mean? Aaron Stern is a great example. Top 5 at New York Pro, 42 years old. You know what I mean? There's no like end date to this. There's only an end of your progress if you don't allow yourself to take the time that you need. Right? Take the time that you need. And sometimes people have the physique and they just need to get on stage and practice their posing and their presentation. That's one thing I will hand it to with Ashley Kaltwasser. She's won a ton of shows, obviously, but her weakness has always been her presentation and her posing. So getting on stage when she does, as often as she does, helps her with that. Her posing has come a long way. Do I still think she needs work? Yeah, she still needs work. She still needs work on her posing, sure. But it's come a very, very long way in the last couple of years. She's been working on her weakness. Right? Sometimes that's the scenario. Sometimes that's something you have to do. So understand where you are, understand where you want to go, and understand what you have to do in order to get there. I'm just getting started. Yep, you are. Sometimes that means you need to take some time off. Sometimes that means you need to compete more. Take your judging feedback. Be honest with yourself. Have honest conversations with your coach. Determine what the best steps are for you, and don't come at it from a emotionally charged state. Come at it after you've had a burger after the show. Come at it from a place where you feel like you're in a good headspace. And also come at it from a place where physically and mentally you are tough enough to be able to get through it, and you're not going to hurt yourself doing it. Right? Those are the things to be paying attention to. Okay. Any questions? Anything anybody wants to add to this? So again, like I said, first and foremost, take your judging feedback. Take your judging feedback seriously. People talk about the whole politics thing all the time, and politics is bullshit, first of all. But there is the human aspect to this sport. And when judges give you feedback and see that you're applying it, they love that. When judges give you feedback and you don't apply it, they don't love that. They pay attention to that stuff. They pay attention to if you are actually paying attention to them. If you're doing these things and you're not listening to the judges and what they're telling you to do, it's probably going to reflect in your scores. Right? Looking forward to coming back, but my body needs time. It was hard to accept, but once I did it, I realized how much I needed to focus on fixing myself to come back and be my best. Absolutely. And personally, the same thing. Like I've told you guys before, I wanted to get on stage around my 40th birthday, which was in September, and that did not happen because my body wasn't ready. And yeah, that sucked. But at the same time, I'm really glad that I didn't push it when my body wasn't ready. And I'm at the same spot now too. I'm pushing so I can look my best in Dallas in 3 weeks. But then I'm going to do what I need to do in order to make sure my body presents its best. From that point on, every show that I go to, I want to get better. I don't want to get worse. What's the point? I want to get better. Don't hurt yourself financially either just to do another show. Take time to build money as well. Yeah. Yeah, that goes to the mental aspect, right? So, if you're not financially capable of competing, don't push yourself to do it. I know a lot of people that have gone into a lot of debt for a plastic trophy. Not worth it. It's not worth it, guys. What's the point of the goal, achieving the goal, if you can't actually enjoy the goal? Right? Like I say that all the time. Like if I'm going to be stressed out trying to push towards this thing, then why am I doing it? Why am I pushing for this if it's not enjoyable for me? If I'm on financial red line, right? There's a point where, the stress is good for you, but then there's a point where the stress is bad for you. Get your house in order first. Get your house in order first. It's really important. I'm doing my first figure competition. The diet is so hard. It doesn't get any easier. It doesn't get any easier. It's a hard sport. It's an extreme sport. There is no way around that. It is a hard sport. It's an extreme sport. You have to be mentally and physically tough in order to be able to do it. 99.99999% of people can't do it. They can't. And if you're one of those people, that's okay. It's okay. It's not for everybody. It's not the sport for everybody. That's why it's so small. It's a small sport, you guys. Very, very small. We are a very, very small sport. It's okay. But if you're one of those few that can, man, it can change your whole life. It can change how you view everything. Has for me. People see the glamorous side of the sport and mistake the gritty grind. Oh, yeah. I look like shit half the time. My hair is all nappy back here. Like, I just got to pull it back and get it off me so I can go do my running. I run through the neighborhood with dog hair all over my pants because that's how I roll. Like, it's not pretty most of the time. The only time that it's pretty is on show day. And you smell because of the tan. So even that isn't that pretty. Oh, goodness. It's so cliche, but that saying, if it was easy, everyone would do it, is so true. And it means much, much more to me that it's so hard. Yeah. Yep. If it was easy, everyone would do it. That's very true. It's very true. Most challenging yet rewarding thing can go through. And yes, the strength you gain, the same principles can be used in life. Yes. The strength that you gain in bodybuilding can be used throughout your life in every aspect of your life. 100%. That's why I love the sport so much. It's made me very dedicated to everything that I do. When you apply the same kind of pressure in your business, in your relationships, friendships, significant others, all of those kinds of things, it can take you to new levels in your life. 100%. Anything else anybody wants to add? I'll leave it open for another minute or two here, and then we'll shut it down. I gotta go eat again. Go figure. I gotta go eat. So as we're finishing up for tonight, no live feed tomorrow. I'm gonna get to doing about 2 to 3 of these a week. I want to give myself the opportunity to get YouTube videos out for you guys too. And if I don't block out time to do that, they're just not gonna get done. So I was really happy I was able to get one out to you guys today. My boyfriend told me he can't believe how disciplined I am that he would eat up the whole fridge. Yeah. Yep. So I'm not going to get on live tomorrow, but we do have a Sundays with Shawn this coming Sunday. So if you that are local and coming, I will see you at the shop on Sunday. Like I said, next week is not next week. I'm sorry, 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now is DC ProAm. So we got 2 weeks. I almost jumped that one ahead of schedule. We got 2 weeks till DC ProAm. So that's the next one on our list. Our flash sale is open until tomorrow. So that is the full show day package available at half price, basically, open until tomorrow. So if you haven't gotten that yet, the link is in my bio. So go ahead and click on that. If you're on our email list, it's in your email box. If you're on our YouTube right now, it's in the comment section on YouTube. So you can pull that up too when you get over in the comment section there. We do have a YouTube video up that we launched today, which was the bikini girl in the bodybuilding world for the New York Pros. That is out. So you can take a look at that. Just some other behind the scenes stuff that you probably haven't seen yet. Did you go? I did the New York Pro. I was in the New York Pro. So we'll be back live on Tuesday. So like I've told you guys before too, I'm prioritizing things in my life, and Monday night is now date night. So we'll be back on Tuesday with lives. But if you are on Sunday, we will go live at Sundays with Shawn as well. So you can kind of look in on the group posing. Okay. And if you want to work with me, as always, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. But we do have that flash sale, like I said, which is in my bio. It's also in my stories. It's also in the comment section over here. Get yourself a buy one, get one free suit. So, well, then you got to go watch it again because I was in it. So, okay. Happy Memorial Day. Yes, Memorial Day is this weekend too. I forgot about that. So, anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic evening. We will be back, like I said, on Tuesday, but I will see you guys on Sunday. Those of you that are coming to the shop. All right. So, I don't know who you are, but I was in the show. I was competitor number 108. So, anyways, yes, go check it out. I am in all of the photos. So there's even photos of me on this profile from the show. So there you go. Anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your evening and have a wonderful weekend. I have tons of clients all weekend. And I'm going to end out YouTube first. There we go. And Instagram